I've worked in the construction industry for 38 years, since I was 16 years old. I started on site as a bricklaying apprentice many, many years ago now. Didn't stay long doing that, was moved into site management and have progressed through the site management ladder up to my last full-time position was Managing Director of a SME in Yorkshire. Now, the biggest changes in the industry over the last 38 years is the professionalism of management. The requirements for site management to be much more professional, much more focused on health and safety, cost awareness, communication skills. It's been a vast change in the skill sets required by construction managers from when I first started. It was enough once to be technically competent. Nowadays, you've got to be much more. My talents were developed, I might say, in the old school, almost by trial and error. The industry used to be that way. You would progress from one discipline to another, and I remember one promotion I got called into the office one day and said, "Phil, we're going to make you a contract manager now. You're not ready, but you're the best we've got. So get on with it." And that was how it was. Power in the construction industry is probably one of the most common talents, and it was a talent that was most commonly sought after in a site manager traditionally. The old command and control kind of ability. You'll do as I say because I'm in charge. Well, you do need a bit of that. There has to be some tell on a construction site. It can't all be management by committee, but there needs to be less than there used to be. There needs to be more consensus management. Managers need to be more rounded, more leaders. So power is probably the biggest available talent that we have in our site management, but it's the one we probably need to refine the most. I don't think it's any secret in the industry that leadership qualities within site management are not strong enough, they're not high enough. In a simulation environment, you can teach, you can train those leadership qualities. In a safe environment, they can get it wrong, they can do it again, and you can develop true leaders, which the industry desperately needs. I think it's a tremendous way of developing our construction managers, construction leaders for the future.
NHBC's always been about innovation, and this is a very good example of it. This centre, which includes the IT resource we've got here, the virtual reality site behind me with NHBC registered houses, and some real-life experiences with real actors for site managers and others, all this brought together to give people an intensive experience on what real-life sites are like.
Well, we are at ACT UK, which is a building management simulation centre here in Coventry. It's a brand new facility, but we have been involved in the process that's led up to this building for over 5 years.
There's 3 stages when they arrive. We give them a briefing session, so we put them at ease, we tell them what's happening on site, what to expect, who might visit them in the site hut, what's happening on site, so they get a bit of an overview, so they're not completely stuck when they get into the site hut. We then put on the PPE, move into the simulation centre, they're allocated a hut, and then it starts.
They're sat in the site as a site manager. They've got a series of tasks to do like any site manager would have. They might be needing to reprogram the site because the lift manufacturer's called to say the lift's going to be late. And then you put in actors who would act the role of, say, the foreman bricklayer, being sent in to tell them, they've dragged them off the scaffold because the scaffold's incomplete. And the site manager's got to deal with a foreman bricklayer who now can't work because the scaffold's incomplete, and it's up to the site manager, the trainee, how he deals with that situation.
We've got to earn a living. It ain't me who's moved that.
It's not a personal attack, mate. Okay, just make sure you.
It just feels like it is at times.
If you can get it sorted for us, then we won't have chats like this again.
The huts are not high-tech, are just normal site huts with equipment that's normally available. So there's a telephone, there's a computer, and a lot of information.
They are extraordinarily realistic. When you're in the site hut, you are in the site hut. It's been described as real play rather than role play because you've only got to be in there a few minutes and you immediately feel immersed as a site manager in the site.
Because I've had this problem for months and it's still happening. It needs sorting. It needs sorting now. I've had enough of it. I've had enough to deal with it. It's stealing the end of the day, isn't it?
My name's Jeff Mann. I work for NHBC Training Services in the training department, but I am a qualified bricklayer by trade. So we have to get into character It's all situations that have actually happened during the building of the two projects that have been filmed. And then we go in to try and put a spanner in the works, see how they handle that, how they handle the communication aspect of it.
While we were in the control room, we were able to talk to the delegates via the telephone. We could be subcontractors, we could be suppliers. We would interact with them, and we're also watching them on the screen, so we can give them feedback on body language, on how they reacted in certain circumstances, what we saw and how we felt they dealt with the situation.
And of course we can listen to every piece of conversation. We can also control the conversations and ramp up the pressure.
Hello, it's Sharon from British Gypsum. How are you today? Marvellous. I'm just checking. We're about to visit your Once they've finished their session in the simulator, we bring them back and we have a debrief. So the actors come back, give them the feedback, their observations of what they saw, how they felt, while the trainees talked to them.
I really didn't know who I was dealing with, and that was because the phone totally distracted you. And you never explored me being part of the problem, even though I admitted to being on there and I knew all about everything. I thought you possibly could have said, look, you've just admitted.
It made me a little uncomfortable, really, because you're dropped right in and you're made to confront your fears, I suppose, with the situations that are going off.
I thought it was thoroughly impressive, exceeded my expectations. It was an extremely real situation that you put into. Probably what I got out of it is that I don't ever want to be a site manager.
The attention to detail with the virtual reality I thought was incredible.
I thought the actors were very good, very real, and found it intense, and I thought it was very useful training.
It's the second centre in the world. And for me, I've never seen any other sort of training that can work to this sort of level in the time that it's so quick. It's so quick to get site managers thinking about the way they do the job, and that's always been a challenge.
So it's really important for us, NHBC, that we're involved in this venture now. This helps in training site managers, it helps in training NHBC inspectors, and a range of other skills in order that we can continue with our mission of raising standards in house building.